we are back. Now, Luke, you did two things in that last little section, because you did roll your making camp move, but you also did do a fictional thing, which is consecrated flame.
Thing.
Yeah. Do you want to tell me about that? What's that about?
Yeah, so as the light bearer, one of my like free moves that I start with that I don't even ever have to roll for is when I light a flame while whispering words of consecration, which like is the thing that I described myself doing because it was cool. It casts a holy light. So apparently we have a holy campfire, I guess. Cool. Holy light is painful for creatures of darkness to look upon, but it does no true harm. The holy light lasts until the flame goes out, or until I consecrate another flame, whichever comes first.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So, the way that camp leader works is that you're also like responsible for the main watch of the night. So I think as you are like keeping watch and the others snooze or go about their business, right? Like it might be either. You feel a hand upon your shoulder. And you didn't hear anyone coming up behind you or anything. And you feel this hand upon your shoulder, and this person like says, "Do you mind if I share your fire?"
Yeah, and I very there's no like startle or like "Hurrah!" Right? Like I very like calmly and like unthreateningly like turn around to like look at this person and like look them in the face so we can have a conversation.
Yeah. They are heavily robed. Like more than is appropriate for the current weather. Like big cloak, like big scarfy poncho-y thing. Probably a big like a kubra, like a broad-brimmed like hat. And I think you can see on your hand, on your shoulder, the hand and it is wrapped in like bandages, like around the hand and around the individual fingers. So all that you can see of the actual fingers is like the stumps where they like all around the fingernails and like and the fingers themselves are like bloody and cut up and like damaged. And I think the only thing you can see of their face is that more of this bandage is like slightly visible underneath the thing in the firelight.
I would like to Blades in the Dark this and have a flashback.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, because I feel like there is a thing that for my character, like to make sense of the fiction, we need to establish.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Yep.
Which is, and actually, so this might not be a move. This is me kind of asking you, Ash, because this is your custom setting, and my playbook is built around a fictional concept, and we have to find a way to relate those things. What is a creature of darkness? What does that mean?
I think I want you to reword that.
Okay.
I think I want you to word that as a creature of chaos, because
that works for me.
Yeah, chaos and law are more important in this setting than light and dark.
So just replace every instance of the word darkness with chaos.
Yeah, and similarly, if something says what here is evil, it means like what here is born of chaos, right? Like,
awesome.
Yeah, because like the problem with this setting is currently that the 7 wardens are not in balance, right? Like there's this whole thing of like, if the wheel is to keep turning, like the more like it needs to be balanced, and if
chaos will splinter it,
chaos splinters it faster. Yeah.
I'm like, what, like, so I suppose my question is, and this is the thing where I may be like retroactively triggering spout lore, like what are the signs by which one knows a creature of chaos? Like what betrays that nature?
Yeah, can you roll that spout lore for me?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
for one who knows the signs, what is it that betrays that?
Yeah. because I think I know the answer, but I'm interested to know if you do.
Excellent.
Nope.
Not so much.
Okay, so I think on a 4-, I'll give you something something interesting that you can like make. In the old days, when people prayed to Horu to return and bring life back to the land, there were creatures known as wastrels, which were the dead come back to life by the forces of chaos. They just failed to stay dead. And they could be recognized because their eyes would constantly dart about all the time, just as if they were like trying to scan for something, just everywhere, like looking past everything, just constantly looking around as if in fear. They could be having a conversation with you and be using words, but they would be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this stranger asked if they could share our fire. Yeah, and I think Kalak like smiles and like stands up from where she was just like putting like a bedroll, like finishing laying a bedroll out or something. And you know, like she's probably like a good like foot taller than this person. Because in my head she's like 6.5, like 7, like she's a big broad lady. And she kind of like smiles and she says, if you mean no harm to me or mine, then you are welcome here. And I am using the word disingenuous feels disingenuous because it's not accurate. Like, I'm not putting up a facade of friendliness. Like, I am, like, I do genuinely mean that. But, like, my friends are very important to me, and so the whole time, whether or not he is aware of it, like, he is being, like, weighed and measured, and, like, cool, like, yes, you can share our fire if you're willing to make that promise, but I'm still gonna be watching you because I don't know that I trust you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm trying to get a read on this guy.
Risk management.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah. And yeah, so, like, I'm reading, I, like, gesture for him to, like, join me by this, this, like, white, like, soft fire. But as I do, I'm watching him.
Roll wisdom.
Cool.
This strange move that is about people that we don't have formalized yet, but is existing in a primordial state currently. 9. You can ask a question about the internal workings of this person.
I mean, I feel this feels kind of bullshit, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because I feel like it's accurate. Like, is this thing born of chaos? Like, like, I feel like that is a truth about its emotional landscape.
You can tell.
Actually, no, because now that I think about it, I don't actually care. That's not really the point.
Okay.
Does this thing No. Will this thing harm my friends? Willingly or otherwise? Like, is there the potential and the intent in it for harm?
There is the potential, and there is the potential. The intent is currently not there. In that, like, you can tell that. I think the thing that gives this away is the fact that, like, it's keeping the brim of the hat so that the light isn't being cast directly onto its eyes. But it is still approaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Like, there's a thing here of, like, there's something in it, there's something, like, of chaos about it, but it's certainly not born of it. Right? It's not a creature of.
Yep. Nope, that sounds legit. And so I think, like, I am happy to let it, like, sit by the fire. Right? And share camp with me and or any of my friends who are still conscious.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, like the whole time, like Kalak is watching it, and like at the first sign of something fucked up and right, like at the first sign of it doing a shady thing, like there is a prayer that is like sits on my lips, like ready to burst into life and do a thing.
Yep. I love it. Cool. Yeah, I'm all about that. So yeah,
which sounds like it's maybe define danger plus whiz to keep
that sounds
my guard up.
like what I want to hear. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Define danger plus whiz. Let's do it, please, for the love of God.
Nice.
I'm
nicely done. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Wisdom is my good stat.
Yeah, I think you managed to lure this person into like a false sense of security that you've nodded off. Right?
I'm doing the Gandalf thing where like I'm like leaning back against like a tree and I'm like all wrapped in this old like threadbare cloak, and my eyes are like slitted, and because of like the fact that I'm like not young, and I'm like quite well weathered, like the wrinkling and like the way I've aged like hides the fact that my eyes aren't completely closed and I can actually still see.
Yeah. At which point, one of your friends, which of the party, like sleeps in such a way that they could see the stars?
I think Anhaka would do that.
Cool. So yeah, he pulls out a knife and goes over to Anhaga and just sits over, like squats, like looking at her head, like exposed in the bedroll or whatever, and he's just like looking at it. And like, do you do anything at that point, or do you wait for him to like take further action?
Like that's enough. And I think we get like a really close shot of like Kalak's face lit by very very softly lit by this like white gentle like holy light, and we see their lips are moving, and they're like standing up, and they like move, and I think this thing has its back to me because it doesn't think I'm a threat. Yeah, and I like step around the fire, and like as I pass into the right position, all of a sudden I am casting like a long and terrible shadow across it, and I'm like, there's this like halo of like the fire's light that's visible behind me, and I am going to invoke the sun god, which is one of my moves.
Okay, cool.
When you imbue a holy light with the power of the gods,
which
this document still says Helior because I took this from Stone Talk.
Yeah.
I think it's Nodermu, I think.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense if it's Nodermu.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make that move and we're gonna see what happens.
Because Nodermu is like light and destruction.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Yep. So I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, pick one.
Yeah. I feel like it's the light is snuffed out when the invocation is complete. It's fuel consumed, and the invocation I'm using is this.
Yeah.
And so she's like standing there casting this long terrible shadow, and it looks up at her, and I think for a moment we get a shot of her from its perspective, just like this like towering like void haloed in like this incredibly intense like white light, and then she like continues to speak, and like from her like inside her mouth like the same like white light is glowing, and like from her eyes, and it's just like blasted out of exist. Oh wait, it's banished from this world or back to whatever tethers it here, whichever of those is accurate.
I mean, yeah, the smell of burning hair just erupts through the campfire, through the campsite, as this thing, just gets engulfed in flame and just goes up, right? Like,
Yeah.
So good.
and all that is left is like it falls apart, and all that is left is the cut off or pulled off tips of fingers that are wrapped in the bandage, the cloak, the hat, and like some of these wisps of burnt hair.
Yeah, and I think we see Kalak like now only lit by starlight because the fire has gone out, and there's like maybe like soft ghosts of its light like dancing on her cloak. So she's like very very faintly lit by this like foxfire kind of effect, and she just like stoops and like grabs like a nearby stick and just starts to like dig a hole in this like rhythmic way. And I think that's like the last shot of camp is just her, digging a grave for this thing.
Yeah, cool. I love it. Morning arises. It is like muggy. It's like a muggy morning. There's the sound of beetles and like cicadas and things. Crowing. What do, friends?
Breakfast.
Good answer. What does breakfast look like? Is it just... Did you bring trail rations?
I've got some. I think Etienne is more. She tends to favor like boiled eggs and dried fruit and that sort of stuff. So she would offer some around to all of her traveling companions. Maybe even some fruit for Jenny.
Aww.
We've been through some stuff, so.
That's true.
So good.
Ironically, rations is not actually one of the starting. Like, I can't start with rations. It's not on my gear list.
So at the end of camp, when you've eaten one ration, drunk your fill, and gotten at least a few hours of sleep, pick one. If your rest was particularly comfortable, peaceful, and enjoyable, this one wasn't. But so the options are heal damage equal to half your max HP. You can clear a debility, or you can take +1 forward on your next check for being like fresh and up and about. But you do have to consume a ration to do that.
It seems useful, so if there's anybody who doesn't have rations, I will share of mine with you.
Aw. That's nice.
Yeah, it just means like you're prepared for the day, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna take +1 forward.
Cool.
I will also consume a ration and take one forward.
Nice. Excellent. Cool. Well, who wants to roll for like where you're going? Continuing towards what looking. So you're continuing your exploration, looking for a chitin nest.
Are we in still a heavily kind of forested area right now?
I mean, heavily forested area is like the majority biome.
You just described the world.
Okay,
well, not
yeah,
the whole world, right? Like there are some big weird mountains and some salt plains and things like that. But most of the area around this area is for
okay.
Like there aren't trees all over the mountain ash.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I'm onto your bullshit.
You're in a jungle continent.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
There are other biomes, but it is a primarily jungle continent.
I think on the second day, Etienne would probably occupy herself with finding what appears to be the biggest tree, kind of running up ahead to climb up it and scout the surrounding area to see if there's anything that looks interesting, come back down, let everybody know, run off, and keep doing it again like some moderately ineffective human periscope.
I love
So
it.
you're in the lead, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
For some definitions of lead, yes.
yeah.
Great.
Does that mean that you are rolling the navigation, or that you are helping the person who is?
I can go either way. So if there's somebody who wanted to like take lead on navigation, I can provide an eye.
How about Anhaga takes lead on navigation and you do the sort of scouting thing? Well, from the bottom of the tree, Anhaga
Totally.
shouts, Etienne, what do your human eyes see?
Trees.
Like that.
I love that we have just like fucking replicated the Lord of the Rings. Like, we have a Boromir, we have like an Aragorn. I'm like, so Gandalf, it's painful, and he's like a cool halfling character.
Yep.
We just killed a ring wraith. Like, it's fucking.
I'm not sure which you just killed, but I don't know that ring wraith is what I would have called it. But sure.
Look, it was a veiled, dangerous humanoid undead thing. Like, it's in the same conceptual territory.
With
Okay,
borrowed fingers.
That was a thing Tolkien never thought up, and that was cool.
I mean, like, if I can't be like cooler at describing creepy monsters than Tolkien, then what am I doing?
I mean,
Exactly.
legit.
Cool. All right. So do you want to roll it, for me, with the it's plus 0. No, it's plus 1 because you've got like vague rumors, and then Etienne can use dexterity to help.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring for scampering.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's plus 1 for rumors.
God damn it!
Plus 1 because we made camp.
Yeah.
And is the mule helping again, Anhaga?
Yeah.
Etienne, does that 6
I
include
did.
the plus 1?
It does not count my plus 1, so I got a 7. So there's a thing today I did not fail at. What's up?
Well done. Good job. You didn't completely fuck up everything.
Be gentle with you.
Wow.
Friends.
Wow, I'm right here.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
why I was
it's-
congratulating you. Jeez.
So there's a stack of bonuses here that I'm trying to keep track of. So it's
Yeah.
what am I rolling and what am I adding to it? Just
You've
to
got
clarify.
you've got plus 2, and then it'll be bumped up by like a
It's-
step.
Isn't it plus 3 in total, Ash? Because it's plus 1 for the making camp, plus 1 for the mule, and plus 1 for rumors.
Oh, I forgot about the mule. Yeah, you got plus 3.
How could you forget about Jenny?
So 2d6
I
plus
thought she was
3
dead.
and then it shifts up a step, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's a 9. So
Yeah,
it shifts up to 10.
Cool. That jumps up to a 10, which means that you
Congrats.
make progress. Excellent.
Right.
So yeah, you head through these like again you're moving through an area that has that tends to favor like large leafy trees rather than like heavy underscrubland. I think in this area though the like you're starting to see more trees that are like a bit leafier rather than like have more smaller leaves than the big heavy ones. And as you make it, as you travel through the day, you notice that there are more and more, like birds and small animals that are like nut and fruit gatherers. So, and you're noticing that there's like more of these around, and you start to spot occasionally some of these caught up in like webbing and drained of their fluids, including like some of these like big like chicken-sized nut hatches and things, right? Like
The Robinsons.
yeah, so you're starting to spot that, but like
you
you don't come across any explicit danger during the day. So yeah, you get towards like the middle of the afternoon, which is the point at which you're like, should we make camp or should we like continue on into the night?
Well, I would like to consult primarily with Kalak, based on the thing that we have going, I guess.
Yeah, I think that sounds. Yeah.
I'm all for pushing on. I think we can make a double the distance today, make up for what we lost yesterday.
And I think Kalak like stops and thinks, and looks at all these signs, because I feel like, and Ash, tell me if I'm completely off base here, I feel like the logical leap that this is like chitin's sign is not an unreasonable.
No, it's not.
It's not an unreasonable one.
So I think you're aware of the fact that you're about the right distance out to have found the older nest.
Yeah, right. So this is, and like, yeah, are these signs looking? So actually, here's what's happening. I think I'm both like scouting around and like looking at these marks and trying to figure out how old are they, like how recently have the chitin been here. Like, what is the danger? Like that, like if we plunge on into the night, we'll be like right in the middle of like active chitin territory immediately, or like is this where they retreated from? Like, how bad are the odds there?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make that mental arithmetic, and I'm also casting my mind through all the folklore that I know and everything I've heard about chitins to try and figure out whether they are creatures of chaos and like what the situation is there.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think you know that they are definitely. Actually, no. I think I need you to. Yeah, I think I need you to roll for that.
Yeah, because like I feel like I think I'm both spouting lore and discerning realities here.
Yeah.
Like,
can you roll discerning realities for me, and we can work from there.
can I roll spout lore first because I have +1 forward and discerning real, and I've got a bad int and I want to make up for it?
Yes.
What
I was thinking was yeah.
Is
Yeah, cool. So this is about the chitins specifically?
Yeah, about the chitins and like specifically their relationship to chaos.
Yeah.
Like what the picture is there.
They are definitely like creatures born of chaos.
Awesome.
They are those sorts of like monstrous in that way. But they are also, I think you probably also know that they are intelligent. So like there's this weird thing of like,
so was the thing last night. Like.
yeah, and the other thing is like, arguably, depending on your theology, they might have souls, even though they're born of chaos.
Whatever like specific cult of give me a moment.
If you believe
Nadermu that I follow, I don't think it's one that actually like. I don't know that it's one that believes in the soul, to be honest. Like, I think it's one to which, like, the question of what is soul and not is just an academic, like... What matters is that we are people and that we treat each other with decency and that, like, we live our lives in a way that is not, like, totally, like, without any restraint and just, like, selfishly impinging upon others and their rights. Like...
Yeah, because, like, Nadermu is an aesthetic deity, right? Like, an ascetic deity. Like, the giving up of earthly things. Is like the way that Nadermu teaches to find like nirvana. So yeah, like it totally like the idea of like, no, you don't even have a soul. Like just stop trying to like win the game, right? Like
yeah, exactly,
totally
right? Like the important thing is that you play the game properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
nice.
Yeah, cool. And then should I also discern realities?
Yes, because you wanted to know about like the situation, so yeah.
I did.
So does this look like her like scrubbling her chin and like thinking and like doing some self-talk, or like is it like riffing back and forth with somebody?
I think I think the discern realities part, is she like goes over to like a nearby tree where there's some of these webs like strung out and like reaches up and like pulls down a handful and like right, like rubs it between her hands and tests how sticky it is.
It's like when you throw sketty on the wall.
Yeah, and I think does like whisper into it for a moment and like watches how it burns because I think like the moisture level is also a clue.
Great.
Yeah, like looks at one of these bodies and like pokes at it a little, and like scouts around for like some like footprints on the floor, and yeah, probably like asks you what you smell, because like Kalak certainly imagines, though I don't know if the game bears this out, but that like even in like a humanoid form, you have like a better relationship with your senses than most humanoid beings do.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so yeah, she's like, yeah, like, do you smell, like, have they been here recently? And like, Etienne, like, where would you be hiding? It is kind of like a little bit of a group exercise, but they're very particular, like, odd, like, focused questions of like, Etienne, where would you hide here if you wanted to like not be seen?
Trees. Halfway
Which
up.
tree? Which is the good tree?
Points over in this direction. Probably this one.
Yeah, and so she goes over to that tree and checks the webs like specifically there.
Yeah.
Like
Cool.
it's like a whole group activity.
Yeah.
And I get a 13 because I'm good at wisdom.
Nice. Ask questions.
What here is not what it appears to be. What should I be on the lookout for? And then what is about to happen with a specific context of like, if we travel, like if we push on into the evening and I light my holy fire, like what is likely to happen if we do that?
Yep. What here is not what it appears to be. These creatures are not the size of like what chitins would usually. They're too small for like a proper chitin meal.
Oh, they're like baby chitins.
So like, yeah, like for whatever reason, that is a thing.
Yep.
Like a chitin is like the size of a bit smaller than a human, like dwarf sized. So like that's not a full meal. For someone that size.
Yeah, these are like what, like gnome sized.
These creatures are like chicken sized at most.
Okay, like tiny. Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, like
cool.
Well, no, as in like the things that they're eating here are like.
Okay, yeah. So it would follow that. Yeah, they're like. Yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
Cool.
So like yeah, like normally because like if they're only like doing the fluid draining thing, they would want to like drain the fluids of something larger normally. But this hunting is aggressive, right? Like there's a lot of like
they're hungry.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. A lot of these like bodies that you're finding. Additionally, I think someone spots the that there is like when there's bare ground, there's like a silvery webbing over it. That I think you probably are aware is usually like used as like an alarm sort of system, right? To like capture small things and let them know when bigger things are coming. But the one here is extremely dilapidated.
Yeah. Okay. So they've largely abandoned this.
Yeah.
Place, presumably.
I think that answers.
That answers, I think, what is about to happen. I feel satisfied. Yeah. And then the lookout one was that they are hungry and they are numerous.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is that I think from here you can see that you're one progress away from a big stand of like pine fir conifer trees that are just like
webbing,
or just
everywhere.
completely wrapped like in webbing.
Cool.
As if like when spiders are trying to get away from floods.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and I think so having undergone this like almost like divinatory process, and I feel like for her it is a little bit like that. Kalak like nods and is like, yeah, I think we should be able to press on. I will light the way. And I think, and she like points at the big stand of pine trees, I think that might be what we were looking for.
And you want to arrive there in the dark? Ginny and I can't see in the dark. Or maybe we're the only two who can. I'm not sure which.
And I think this is the first time we've seen it, because so far Kalak kind of like has not worked with like light sources, but
Yeah.
she reaches into her like big like gray threadbare cloak and pulls out one of my gear, which
Excellent.
is an iron and glass lantern.
Cool.
It is light, area, and reach.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and so I pull out this like big, like intricate, like wrought iron, and the glass is like, I think it's not so much glass as it's like some kind of like gem, like topaz or something. Like it's
Right.
there's
yeah.
not like-
a
it's not-
tinting to the glass.
Is some of it like insect wings, or is it precious?
No, I think it's like precious, like
Okay.
precious gem. Like this is a sacred object.
Got it.
Yeah, actually no, it looks like glass, but it's actually like pure, like clear quartz.
Yeah, right.
Is what
yeah.
the little like the lenses are made out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's this like big, like hanging like lantern, and she looks very like the hermit when she carries it. If
Yeah.
anyone is tarot literate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Arcady sort of like furrows their brow, and it's like, okay, don't break it. Great.
Yeah, I will light the way, and I like reach out and like pat you on your little shoulder.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So yeah, roll for the progress towards the thing then during the night.
Cool.
Is it still Anhaga that is like keeping the lead with Arcady's help? With Etienne's help?
Nope, muted.
I feel like it's about time we switched off with that and that Anhaga was just helping.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. So
Cool.
does that mean that
Cycling out.
Etienne is doing the like primary navigation?
I can.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
Does it feel good? Awesome.
Yeah.
And Ash, I am gonna spend a use of lantern oil, which is enough for my lantern to burn like for 12 hours.
Cool. Yeah, that's.
And
you
I am
like
going
that.
to like whisper a prayer and some words of consecration and light the lantern.
Awesome.
With a consecrated flame.
Cool.
So I've got this little halo of like sacred lamplight around me.
Superb. I think
Aesthetic.
it's very important. Having traveled through the day as we continue on through the night, Arcady will, and because their senses are better, as their very favorite is deer form. I think that'll be a thing that as we move through this space. Like at one point, Arcady is walking beside Kalak, and then now there's this very different figure. So.
Do you want to describe it?
Yeah, totally. So I think the most important detail here is that Arcady's this form is a very like rather small deer with that same sort of swept back set of antlers that we see on Arcady's humanoid form, their person shape. And one of the things that you see by the glint of this lovely, gorgeous, precious lantern is that Arcady is a fanged deer, so it strongly resembles a water deer, and so it's very ruddy in coat color, and it vaguely like is sort of shaggy, kind of big dish ears, and kind of ruddy with cream like edges, like on flanks and.
It's beautiful. Cool. All right.
I love the image that like the deer is small enough that the height of the antlers doesn't change as you shapeshift. So that like
That's
the
great.
point on my like cloak that the antlers come up to is just exactly the same.
Fantastic. Yes.
Cool. All right. So I think Etienne, what does it look like as you're navigating? Like, is it different?
I think she tends to, when she's doing this, head out a little bit further forward.
Yeah.
And since it's dark and it's harder to see her, I think she tries to communicate with, like just some quick whistles or you know, something that's easy to pick out from the surrounding wildlife, but it's still, if somebody's not paying close attention, it would kind of blend in, you know?
Yeah, right. Yep. Cool. Yeah. So do you want to roll your 2d6 plus 1?
I absolutely will. If I could. Oh, here we go. I have too many screens. Oh, 4. Hey, what's up? Sorry.
Do you want to
So good.
Do you want to help out and Haga? Like, is that a thing you want to do? At all? Maybe.
Please, for the love of God.
Yes. I've been thinking about how to help, and I haven't actually come up with any good ideas for ways of helping in this particular situation.
Yep. That's a problem. You will need to know how you're helping.
Yeah.
Unless someone else has a way of helping.
Yeah.
Like I'm wondering if Akari might not be helpful as like a little deer thing.
Yeah, I think there's. Go ahead, Luke.
What are the moves for the deer?
Good point.
Okay.
Yeah, we should work that out. What do deers do? We don't like. I don't encounter
They sense
deers.
danger. They're real fucking good at that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sense
They're
danger
paranoid,
can be one.
nervous, skittish animals.
Unless there's a bright light, and then they have some problems.
But this is not a bright light. It's like a lovely, soft light.
I think aesthetically speaking, as a deer, like Arcady is very much back to that same aesthetic around like being like agile versus heavy build. So and like sturdy at the same time, right?
Okay,
But not
yeah.
strong.
Yep, sturdy, not strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Something about like moving really quick, like
Yeah.
covering instance. at speed.
sense danger. It's like sense predators. I think probably dash through like dash through forest or dash through overgrowth.
I like through overgrowth.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a strong aesthetic.
I mean, overgrowth is like one of the key words is one of the key setting
Yeah.
words. So,
Cool.
like this,
Like-
this is all considered overgrowth.
Something about like nimbly dodging out of the way of things or jumping like over like
Yeah.
barriers.
Do you want a jumping type thing as well?
Bound
Andy, or
to
do you-
safety.
Yes.
Well, I think that's kind of dashing, right? Like
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that's
already
Yeah.
covered. Yeah,
That's fair.
That's my thought as well.
Bound to safety just sounds really nice. The poetry layer of it is very good.
you're correct.
Do you want something that is like related to like do you want an offensive sort of thing of like biting
do.
or yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be really great. A very powerful statement about something I'm excited about. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. In which case, like
What would that be?
pierce thicker skin or something. Like
What is? I'm trying to think about what like what's the word raise imply? I'm thinking about like slashing and like both puncturing and slashing. Because I'm imagining that like hooves might be sharp too.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Like so, I feel like there's both hooves and fangs as possible offensive stuff.
Yeah.
Lash out in desperation. Because like deer, like fighting is never like the first instinct of a prey animal, right? Like it's always a backup.
Pushback.
Yeah, I think I think just pierce hides is like
Great.
a good way of like, yeah.
Love it.
Cool. All right, we have a deer stat.
And did we roll the move?
Not the help action yet. No.
Yeah, that was next is figuring out what help might look like because
Yeah,
we got
Did we
side.
roll shapeshifter? Sorry.
Yes. Roll wisdom for shapeshifting.
I shall. Thank you.
If it all goes poorly, I do have an idea for why it goes poorly that I'll give you then.
Awesome. Do.
I like the voice of like, in case everything goes wrong.
Oh no, I messed up the roll, and this is,
Yeah.
Etienne does not have torches, and the sun is going down, and she is too proud to admit that she can't see in the dark against all these magical people.
I could give you a torch.
I mean, does
if you
anyone
really
have the
admit.
like see in the dark like heritage ability? No one has it, so it's not like anyone
No,
can.
instead, Ash, do you know what I do have?
What?
I have this lantern that will burn for 36 hours.
Yeah.
I have 2 torches and I have 6 candles.
Yeah, exactly. That's much more sensible than I can see
Exactly.
in the dark.
Why would I need it?
Yeah. Seeing in the dark is for chumps.
Exactly.
So, point
How
of
does
clarification.
your... So you've got 2 hold, yeah?
Yes, I do have 2 hold, and then I had a +1 forward, and I don't know how that impacts that outcome.
It doesn't because it only bumps you up to 8.
Great, perfect.
Yeah. So
I wasn't sure if it bumped me up to 8 or if it bumped me up to the next tier.
No, helping does that, but
Thank you.
but not not
Oh, not a +1.
not a
forward.
+1, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Not a problem. But you can now, yeah, if you want to help out with, you could spend one of your hold if you're like specifically looking for
Sense of
danger.
predators.
But
Yeah,
yeah, that's up to you how you want to do that.
I think, Etienne, does it sound like what happens is that in your low-key bird Etienne messaging, it what comes back is that there's a bunch of confusion? And, like, do you finally get around to the part where, like, you're like, I can't see? Like does that finally be the thing that you're like, uh-oh, I need help?
Yeah, I think I might like lead you. There's probably at least 2 trees I climb before I admit that I can't see anything, and then I whistle and I call you all to the base of the tree. And like as I'm scooting down, like probably like sliding down on my knives or something, I just go, hey, so I really can't see anything for a while now. Sorry.
Cool.
Great. Arcadie's response is to, like, in a very low-key fashion, like, headbutt you in, like, the thigh, because you're tall and Arcadie is not in, right? Like, just like,
Yeah.
bump.
I know. I'm sorry.
And then we'll, like, look at you, and then just, like, boop, 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 and go kind of
Yeah.
do the work of, like, scouting ahead and do some sense danger, and take the lay of the land.
Yeah. Cool.
What a good dear.
She's such a dear.
I was gonna say such a lovely deer. We're both
I
both
love
got
this
the same
party so
nonsense.
much. Ash, can we name this session like diverse fellowship or something? Because I really want a shot at Tolkien over this.
Let's see if you survive first.
Fair enough.
So yeah, you're you can't see anything, and
I have a question about. So when you say you can't see anything, you're talking to me about Arcadie, or are you
no,
talking
I'm talking
to
about the group in general.
Thank you.
Because no one has specifically taken the thing that lets you see in like dark.
Right.
It's not assumed that if you're an elf you can see in the dark or whatever. That's not like one of the things I've specifically done one of the things that's specific about this setting is that like elves and orcs and humans are just a different kind of people, and some of them have heritages that mean that they are like particularly well suited to certain things, but that's not necessarily because they are an elf or an orc or a human or a dwarf or a gnome or whatever.
Yeah, it's really great that those have been decoupled.
Yeah, I think that's important when you're playing this sort of like fantasy game in 2018.
Yeah.
So, I think Arcadie gets picked up by a bat.
Big bat, sweet.
I think that's what happens.
Cool.
Actually, no, it makes sense. You're close enough now for it to be okay. So yeah, like, Arcadie, you like go off to like go and scout out or some and look for danger or something. And you just like you're bouncing along like an adorable little thing, and then you're just like what into like just stuck in this like web that is between two trees.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, because you're small enough to get stuck in this web.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think the rest of you are probably like at least out of sight of Arcady. What do you do?
Step 0 is make a big honky noise to tell everyone I'm stuck and I'm sad about it.
Tell
excellent,
everyone? Okay.
Arcadie's not necessarily bright and is stuck and is pretty sure
fair.
like
No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm concerned.
Get that
Like,
good
that's-
deer panic flowing through you. I'm sure that'll cloud your, higher thought process.
it's gonna work out great.
Yeah.
And then I think what would be the next thing? So small enough to be stuck, and I feel like after being like, help, that would be start trying to slash through this web with between probably being a conveniently fanged deer, like being careful about not thrashing and getting more stuck, and trying to like start like, okay, don't get more stuck. How do I like cut that? I guess start chewing my way slash like that.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. That sounds like defying danger with strength.
It sounds maybe like intelligence.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, intelligence makes sense to me.
I was gonna say like
It's not necessarily a good stat for you, Angie. I'm sorry.
that's okay. No, I'm into it. Intelligence is better than strength, and I was about to say that doesn't feel like a brute force thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Yep. That works for me.
All right, defy danger with stuff. Push the button. What happens when I push the button? There it is. Thank you. And then we're doing that with int. A 9.
Cool. Awesome.
Hey.
Yeah.
Doot.
Yeah, you make your way. You manage to clear your way from it, but not before like this horrible gray like carapaced creature.
Yeah.
At the size, like a bit smaller than a person. Just swings down and like looks at you askew, like
Yeah.
from the tree in front of you, just from and you can see every time you move and wriggle, it's like sensing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it swings down and just like looks at you and is like giving you a measure.
And I go, hey there, kind of busy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to understand, but it definitely makes like a hissing, clicky sound with its little mandibles. It's got like spider mandibles, but with human teeth on the end. Yeah.
It doesn't speak sass.
It's like pupils are like these weird like shifting polygonal shapes.
Cool.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like you can see it's trying to. I think it like leans forward to try and like see if it can like just touch you with one of its like weird long fingers.
Yeah, and ugh. Ugh.
Yes.
This game was a mistake, actually.
And I think that Arcadie's busy trying to get free. So because this thing hasn't done anything terrible yet, it's really important to them to not get themselves more stuck. But they'll just sort of like, bleh, and like kind of, how when flies land on like a horse's flanks and they muscle twitch it off, that is the thing that happens when it reaches out and like. And Arcadie's like, nope, not friends, no.
And so yeah, it like withdraws back. And let me check my reference sheet.
Great.
I think it like just retreats back up into the trees just out of sight.
Okay.
And you just hear like the sound of it, like making the weird little like rattly noise.
Yeah.
In the tree. Yeah.
It's oh goody.
That's
Oh,
probably fine.
It's purring. It's happy. It likes having healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Gotta give it little scratches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
With my sharp hooves.
Everyone, I think this is the like you probably noticed that Arcadia's been like, I think specifically Jenny is like like, you know, getting a bit like frustrated or something, or like spooked.
Okay, and in that case, I sort of scratch Jenny on the head. What's wrong? What's going on? Arcady fell down a cobweb? Oh, that different words, but
Yeah.
sort of trying to empathize with animal friend thing.
Yeah. And yeah, like, and yeah, like you get the feeling that like, actually, I'll get you to either. I think you can probably like discern realities with Jenny's help.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Cool.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense to me.
So that is discern realities with +1 from Jenny. That's an 11.
Gorgeous.
Awesome. You want to ask 3
Okay.
questions from that list?
I'll just take the top 3. What happened here recently? Like, what just happened to Arcady? What's about to happen, and what should I be on the lookout for?
Nice.
Yeah, cool. I think Jenny backs into like some of this webbing between 2 trees. It's really hard to see when it's not like got light glinting off of it specifically. And yeah, Jenny like gets stuck in it. And I think you hear a rattle in the trees. And I think you probably hear that like echoed further down, like in the direction that Arcady went from. And you kind of like, and then you just hear like all through the forest nearby, this like weird hissing rattle gets like passed around like dogs howling at the moon.
Good.
It's all good.
It's
We're
great.
fine.
Yeah.
That answers all of those, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
Well, in that case, I pull out my bow, string it if I haven't strung it already. And did I hear the sort of honking from Arcady?
I think you probably like. I think you probably hear it at this point.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to sort of pat at Jen on the shoulder a couple times and start jogging, not like sprinting, but at a run with bow in hands in that direction.
Cool.
And just sort of trust that the message is communicated.
Yeah. So yeah. What's up?
This is the thing where like I've only got so much lantern light, and the question is
Yeah.
who needs to be in the lantern light?
Yeah. I'm specifically doing that to you. That's intentional.
Look, Etienne is rogue, something in that space. Etienne is good at being in the dark and stabbing things by surprise. I'm like keeping pace with Anhaka. I think like I want to be where Arcady is so that bad things do not happen to Arcady. That is very important to me.
Awesome. Did you manage? So like you didn't take the time to free Jenny, did you?
You're muted.
You're muted, Jason.
Did Jenny actually get stuck in the...
Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
It's not simple.
No, I didn't. I sort of...
That
everyone else.
Oh,
All right. So,
I mean, there's several of us. Someone else
so
can also help
like,
Jenny.
does that mean that Etienne is like left in the like camp with Jenny?
cool.
Sounds that way.
Does sound that way. Excellent. You got a friend.
Yeah, I think so. Like, she had her hand on like the hilt of her rapier when everybody was getting ready to run off, and then everybody leaves, and she looks back, and Jenny's still there. And she sighs. She reaches behind her and gets two of the throwing knives and starts cutting loose Jenny.
Cool. Excellent. As you do so, chitin like falls on you and sinks its fangs into your shoulder, and I think you immediately start to feel like a numb drowsiness, just like spread over you. Yeah. Do you want to do anything about that?
I'm gonna stab the thing that bit me.
Okay,
like, I'm gonna stab it a lot.
Yeah, sure. Roll a hack and slash.
Okay, so for my race move thing, I picked Blessed Birth, so I have a cleric spell, and I have magic weapon.
Cool.
So as I draw this this rapier of Horu, like, it glows. Well, provided I can, cast the spell right.
Yes, I love it. Yeah,
Sick.
let's see if you can do that.
Yes.
Nicely done. Yeah, excellent. Cool. Cool. Well, better hack and slash this motherfucker.
Yes, this is the goal. So yeah, as it kind of glows with this weird.
Yeah, and it immediately is like the thing that's like biting into you is immediately like, like making this weird.
Yeah, and I think as it backs up, she's trying to, point first straight into the mouth, which is a 7. So, it hits, but I also get bits, I suppose.
Aaron, what are the tags on your rapier?
It's
Because if it's precise, you get to roll plus dex instead of plus strength.
Yeah, I completely forgot to modify that. So it would be a 9 instead of a 7. So I'm still kind of in the same boat. But thank you for that.
Good to.
I mean,
good for
you don't get bit. You just don't. You just haven't bothered to like stop this poison, right? Like, that's what's happening. So yeah, you feel like the warmth spread up your neck and into your jaw and like over your cheek and down down your rib cage, as it feels warm and then it feels nothing.
Great. Totally, that's fine.
Yeah. Do you want to roll your damage though? For
yes, I do.
I mean, it doesn't feel painful, so it's fine.
What does magic weapon do?
Yeah,
it gives you
damage.
Yeah, it gives you a D4 to the damage.
Nice.
I was gonna also use a poison, but it seemed like too many things to do right after a spider lands on your back and bites you.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell a story. The other day, I was taking out the bins, the wheelie bins.
Mm-hmm.
I come back inside. I'm in the middle of cooking, and I see something out of the corner of my eye, and I look down, and on my shirt, right here, real close, is just a spider, just on there.
No.
Thankfully, it wasn't a poisonous. It wasn't a recognizably deadly spider, but it also wasn't a recognizable safe species. So I went on the side of caution. I flicked it off and crushed it with extreme,
alacrity.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
So, yeah, you were accosted by an 8-legged question mark, basically.
Yeah. And I bring that up because I feel like that is I can confirm, indeed, when a spider is suddenly on you, you don't stop to be I'm going to put poison on my weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. This creature is fucking dead.
Nice.
Nicely done. Meanwhile, Yeah, and you can like. Do you then just return to like freeing Jenny? Is that the plan?
I think the plan is to frantically cut at the web, and then the absolute moment Jenny is free, I'm going to kind of just flop myself over Jenny's back and be like, "Go to them," and then just
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah, as you like disappear on Jenny's back, we like the camera like just zooms in on the like face of the dead chitin as it's like weird polygonal eyes like shift and like pin a little as if watching you as you leave.
no.
So that's fun.
So
Back.
content warning for the YouTube VOD. Arachnophobia.
Yeah, that's the thing. So friends over in the other part of this like forest where you're very lost. I think you find Arkady. Yes, Luke.
Also wanted to touch base because I can't tell if I'm going mad or not. Have we taken our third break?
No, we should take a break.
Or did we forget to do that?
We should do that now.
Because I wasn't sure. I was just like, am I going mad?
No, I'm a bit out of it, so like I just hadn't noticed.
Yep.
Time is strange.
Time is strange. Let's take a break, and we'll come back for like the last bit of this, in a minute. All right.
Time is a
Adventures.
flat circle.